Yeah,
Uh,
because you're controlling that. You're controlling that space by your threat.
and you're also gimping their Reinhardt. Like he can't do any. He feels like he's not doing anything useful as well because he's just standing there holding a shield. And then the Reinhardt players that get frustrated when they're getting shot in the back and their team's not doing anything about it. This is what we're trying to do: create that crossfire, so he has to pick a direction to hold his shield and gets shot from the other two directions, or from above with a Pharah or something. Uh, whatever direction he decides not to face. And usually he has to face the Widow because the Widow is the most dangerous opponent as far as the ability to one-shot his healers and squishies. Um, so the flanker, the Widow can basically say, "No, I've got your attention," and that's another resource that Jane video that kind of circulated a little bit. Attention being a resource. The example they give is like a Tracer or a Winston demanding attention. But a Widowmaker is a huge, and a Pharah, stuff, heroes like that are huge about demanding attention. Uh, Specifically saying, you can't ignore me. You have to pay attention to me. You have to hold your shield up against me, or your team's going to pay the price. But yeah, so basically, without getting into all the more complicated issues of investing resources and all that kind of stuff, essentially we're looking at threatening space, occupying space, and enhancing someone else's control of the space. Now, an Orisa that throws her shield up ahead of her to shield another hero that's on space is an example of enhancing space that someone else's occupation. Or she can occupy the space herself. Or, the Zarya bubbles, or just a healer. And this is specifically to dive comp. When we start running defensive dive comps and start doing tank trading, if we want to contest an objective, or even just holding a choke's a bad example, but if we want to try to set up and hold space and say, you're not going to take this space, we're going to occupy it and not let you through this choke or not let you around this corner. The D.Va and Winston aren't as tanky and they don't have the shields that Orisa and Reinhardt have. So their method for doing that is to tank trade. Meaning the Winston will go out and take some damage, throw up a bubble. The bubble comes down, he takes a little bit more damage. And your Ana or whoever your healers are healing him while he's doing that. Then before he gets too low, he backs off and D.Va trades places with him. D.Va walks forward, takes a little bit of damage till her armor's gone, throws up her DM to protect herself, to get healed up a little bit. And also, she doesn't have, the Winston is getting healed back up while she's trading. So she may not have heals right away. And then she starts getting healed a little bit, and then they trade again. And the D.Va backs off and gets healed up while the Winston is taking damage, and kind of trade back and forth to contest space. That's really the only way dive can hold space like that, without just eliminating the enemy team. And so that's a place where enhancing the control of space is a lot more obvious. Healer is enhancing Winston and D.Va's ability to tank trade and control that space and occupy that space.
Yeah.
Or a Zarya bubble. We were running a weird comp like Zarya Winston. Then the Zarya could bubble the Winston. Or if we switch it up to Zarya Rein, you can do the same kind of trading with Zarya bubbles, where the Rein goes up to take some damage, Zarya bubbles him. Hopefully she gets a little bit of charge, times the bubble well, and then as the Rein is backing out, she can run in front of him and bubble herself to absorb some damage and kind of escort him back as he backs up. Maybe his shield was broken, or maybe it's a technique to get Zarya some charge for the fight, kind of a dry push, where Zarya is trying to get some charge, and then you stabilize, get your Zarya bubbles back up, and then you do a full engage or a hard engage. That's kind of a similar concept of tank trading with a different application, a different purpose for the tank trading. But yeah, you know, just again, to keep it simple, we can occupy space to control it, we can threaten space to control it, and that's what the enemy can do as well. And we can break that down into a lot more complex system of field resources and healing resources and cooldown resources. And like I say, the Jane video that's circulating goes into a lot more depth about these concepts. So, with all of that in mind, what can we do to help everyone have an understanding of what space is what? Like, which space is ours, which space is theirs, and what space is neutral and contested? As far as everyone kind of knowing as much as possible about all the space in the battle or in the battlefield as often as possible.
So we're talking about in-game, right?
In-game, yeah. What can we do in-game so that everyone has an understanding of which space is which as often as possible? The highest uptime, as I worded it in the question.
Well, if I'm understanding it correctly, I would say if someone was able to identify it and call that out,
so how would
we
they
as a team
identify
can
it?
take it.
Are you saying specifically that space is neutral, let's take it, or?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Or
that's one
the
thing we
space
could
is
do.
uncontested, let's move up and take the space, or something along
Yeah.
those lines.
Yeah, that's something we could do.
And over time,
User disconnected from your channel.
over time, that should be identified, but be able to be identified by everyone on the team. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah. Now, how could everyone on the team make that identification for themselves?
Sorry guys, I'm lagging somewhat.
with experience. Like, say, like,
depending where your team is standing, where the enemy team is standing, and where there's nobody standing.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So how do we know where the enemy team is standing if we can't see the entire team from our position?
With information.
Scouting.
Callouts, exactly.
Yep.
So that's one huge reason to be very accurate and always call locations. Even if it's not a target that we're following up on, scouting as much information as possible, and everybody can do that. Let us know if you see an enemy, especially if you see an enemy on a flank or on a high ground or a potential threat that we need to know about. That's a really important call. But just as much information as possible, communicate to your team what you see. That helps everybody have a higher understanding, and it increases everyone's awareness. Now, what can we do to have the highest possible uptime of knowing where our teammates are?
I kind of think like if you're gonna go on some special route, you'll let the team know.
Sure, call out your plans. I like that. Now, what else?
Or if you have a plan, in general. Like if we know what we're trying to do, we should know, and we've practiced that, then we should know where our team is.
That's good too. What else?
Pathing.
And actually, that's the answer I was looking for. Have a plan. This is all leading up to the grid system and the team formations. The grid system, its primary purpose is to divide space up in the battlefield into easily identifiable sections that we can control, the enemy can control, or can be neutral. Every map has, you know, this high ground and that high ground and this flank and that corner and the objective, and you can really divide space up in a very complicated way, which is done in the video. For those of you who watched it, you kind of saw where he had contested space in the middle and one team's space on one side, the other team's space on the other side. But then there was high ground to the right of the other team's controlled space that was neutral and up for grabs. And there was, more space to the left of the enemy's controlled space that was contested. There was space behind the enemy and behind our own team that was neutral space up for grabs.
I think his biggest thing in the video was about over pushing the advantage, I guess is the best way to put it.
Sure.
Like you get an advantage, but you're pushing too far before your team catches up.
And that's another huge thing that's done all the way up the ladder. Oh, we got a kill! Rush! Go! To some degree, some team comps are very specifically built to play that way. But
I find that sometimes even with a Lucio, some people's abilities mixed with the Lucio, it makes them even faster while you're still waiting on Lucio to catch everybody up. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, so getting a kill and turning the fight into a 5v6 doesn't necessarily mean that it's time to just YOLO rush the enemy team. It means that maybe you've taken out their right flank. So now that space on the right flank is space that we can take control of and reduce the amount of space that the enemy team has to play with.
My biggest thing though in that whole argument is what if we kill 2 of them?
Yeah, at some point it
like
becomes a cleanup, right?
It doesn't really matter. If,
Yeah.
if 2 of us die, it's an even fight, then we just back off. But if
I've
we
always
get another
thought
one,
the
then we
time.
just keep pushing.
I've always thought the proper time to push forward on them with maybe even a one-man advantage is if that's their main tank. Like if they had a Reinhardt and their Reinhardt's down.
I think
That's a
again that's
huge
more
advantage.
situational. What if Zarya has
But if you take out a
grabs you as soon as you come
DPS,
through the
then
choke?
no.
I
took
think
out a-
I agree with what Syke's saying. Like, if I am a McCree and I have high noon and I see their Reinhardt is down, I'm gonna press W.
You should be pressing Q.
Got it!
Got him!
Again, what if Zarya has a grab?
Well, who says there's a Zarya?
I'm just saying, it's situational. Is what my point.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah,
And-
I use Reinhardt. There was no
But yeah.
given team comp, but yeah. Anyways,
That was a good point, Shadow. The idea that getting one kill doesn't mean we've won the fight. It doesn't mean that all the space on the battlefield belongs to us. It just means that we have reduced their ability to
advantage.
control space. And this is where, the more complex idea of resources come into play. Space is one of many resources in the game. Health is a resource, a bunch of stuff. This is all from the Jane video. So space is a resource, and if you deny their ability to control some of the space on the battlefield, then you have gained some resource, but you haven't gained all of the resources. And that's the point Shadow is kind of making is don't be in a rush to do a hard engage just because you get one kill. Especially if the kill is something like a Doomfist or something that can get back to the battlefield very quickly. Maybe before we have time to finish a cleanup. And but it also gets into kind of the next point of when we're taking space, how do we go about it? Do we just bum rush the objective directly? And maybe if we're goats we do that, but even goats a lot of times won't just go directly for the objective. They'll clear space first. They'll clear a flank and then press the objective from the flank so that they're not surrounded. And this gets back to, he probably explains it better in the video for those of you that watched it, but what we're trying to do is take space a little bit at a time. Get a kill, we take the space that getting that kill allows us. Like if we have a Widow, they have a Widow, and we kill their Widow, all that space the Widow was contesting with her line of sight is now available for us to move into, unless they have double sniper or some other means of contesting that same.
Say they are running like a sniper, and I take down the Widow. Does that mean, like, how can I put this? Does that mean I control both? That means I control both sight lines, right?
When you say both sight lines, what do you mean?
Like my original sight line. Like, I'm controlling the sight line and like the space. Like my sight line is the space, so to speak, that I control, right?
Right, right.
So my original sight line that I had, does that mean I still control that? Does that mean I lose it
yeah.
if I
As
take
long
over?
as you're still there.
If you win the Widow, you're saying you win a Widow duel.
Yeah.
So now you don't have to worry about the Widow, and you can focus on controlling this space that is available to you by your line of sight. And if
Yeah.
you need to move to, I mean, Widow moves a lot. One, she can, if she's predictable, she's easier to kill. She's easier for a flanker to sneak up on. She's easier for the enemy Widow to sneak up on. So if you're moving around a lot and taking different perches, then it makes you a lot more dangerous because they are looking for you where you killed them last time and you're not there anymore. You're somewhere new now.
Yeah.
And then also, you know, just control different lines. And if you're doing, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, go ahead. I was gonna say it'd be even better if you pick up the Mercy trying to res her.
Sure, yeah. And, you know, all of that kind of stuff is situational. Yeah, I mean, if there's a Mercy and you think the Mercy might go for the res, then keep an eye out for that. See the Mercy flying back, you dead. Most good Mercies aren't going to try for that unless they have cover to do it from. And if that's the case, then, you know, I mean, if I'm on a Mercy and my Widow just lost a duel to an enemy Widow, I'm not going to fly up to my Widow's position and try to res her without some kind of cover or protection, because I'm, you know.
Yeah, but that can come from anywhere. I mean,
Yeah,
I've been in a game with y'all where I was playing Genji and I deflected the damage enough for her to res and then left.
Oh, right on.
That was
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I mean, it can come from anything.
Sure, sure. And yeah, I mean, Zarya bubbles, Diva, Matrix, hard shield, cover. There's a ton of ways that Mercy can pull off a res. But yeah, I mean, even that is denying enemy. If you are pulling both the Mercy and someone to protect the Mercy out of the fight long enough for Mercy to fly back and res the Widow, what is the rest of your team getting done while 3 of their people are busy? That's kind of like the battlefield strategy of wounding soldiers instead of killing them, because that way not only is 1 soldier wounded, but 2 other soldiers are escorting him off the battlefield back to the medic. So you've taken out 3 that way instead of just killing somebody. So the idea that what we're trying to do, and this is really with any comp, but especially with dive, we're trying to suffocate the enemy team. We're trying to deny as much space as possible, take as much space as possible, and force them to clump up. And there's, you know, grouping up and clumping are kind of 2 different things. Grouping up is good, clumping is bad. Like if it's really common in lower SR at least for an Orisa to set up a shield on lunar base defense, and the whole team stands behind that Orisa shield and they all stand there on the objective and wait to get attacked. And you know, in lower SR, teams do that everywhere. They say, okay, well, standing on space is how we control it. It doesn't matter if I'm a Widow, I'm going to go stand on the objective and control it. And you know, just bad players do that.
I love when the other team plays like that.
And then they shout at me. 'Cause, like, sometimes they would shout at me to go to the objective, and I'm like, bro, I'm a sniper. I'm not supposed to be on the objective.
Yeah, like a lot of people don't get the idea that the tank can occupy the space and everybody else can threaten it, or you know, the healers can enhance the tank's ability to occupy the objective.
The only problem I have with Widow not contesting is it's like goes like into overtime, and you just, you know, even if you touch the point and die, and it gives you enough time for another person to touch, it doesn't matter.
Sure. And really, even a Reinhardt shield is kind of enhancing your team's ability to occupy space behind his shield.
Yeah.
Back to the point Dave was making earlier.
Because your shield allows, or assists, or enhances, to use your
Yeah.
word, the DPS's ability to threaten.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So in a way, yeah, but that's why it's such a critical resource to
But
manage.
so all of these are basic concepts that maybe people knew, didn't have specific terminology for, maybe knew most of it, but learned a little bit. Hopefully, this wasn't a waste of time, and we didn't just tell everybody stuff they already knew.
No.
But that's kind of the basics that we're starting with.
All in a day's work. And all of that is kind of like it links directly into the grid system that we were trying to teach you guys last week.
Yeah, yeah.
Grid system.
So the grid system.
It's all about controlling space and what space the enemy controls and what space
Yeah,
we can
yeah.
contest.
We can go into kind of how it ties together with what we just talked about, if we want to next, or we can go do some drills or something. What do you want to do?
Well, since I was not here at all last week due to all the crap I had going on, I have no idea what you're talking about this grid system.
Okay.
Right. That's fair.
So,
Can that be like explained or something to me in some way? So that I'm not blind?
I have
Sure,
a couple
sure.
of docs I can send you to if you want to look them over.
Oh.
Google Drive.
So a quick recap, and we can just get in a one-on-one, and I'll explain it to you in more detail, or maybe we just go over it with everybody because I'm not sure. My phone battery kept dying when I was out of town, and we were trying to cover this stuff. So I don't know what got covered and what didn't. But essentially, the idea of what space we control and what space the enemy controls, the grid system is designed to make that easy to identify. And that's what the zero square is about. Our core group is going to mirror the enemy main tank, and the enemy main tank presumably would be the enemy core group. So we will rotate around neutral space and try to be opposite from the enemy core group. And that space is our space that we're safe in. We can stabilize there. Primarily, it's a combination of cover, but it's more range than cover that makes that safe because we're far enough away. Basically, if they're on one corner of the battlefield, we get to the opposite corner, and we're safe there because they're, with the exception of a Widowmaker or something, they really can't get to us to kill us back there. And that's the space that we push out into flanks from. So we've got our flanker groups that push out from zero to the squares adjacent to the zero square. And then when we want to get into kind of an attack formation, they'll push up one more square, but they still want to be 2 squares away from the enemy core group. If you get within 1 square, like if you get into an adjacent square of the enemy core group, you are overextended and probably going to get punished in that position unless we've done something like kill their flank group and deny them that space. But in general, if both teams are fully alive and we're just kind of jockeying for position, if you get within to an adjacent square of the enemy, you're out of position, you're overextended.
Okay.
So it's really easy to know where you're safe, where you are starting to push and contest space, and where you're overextended. And the flip side, if enemy pushes too far up and they get too close to our core group space with their flanker, it's really easy to know, hey, we can punish them because they're too far away from their main tank. They're too far away from their core group, and they're right next to our core group. But yeah, so essentially the grid system is just an easy way to identify all we just talked about. A team formation is what you were making, Psych. We have a team formation. We know where our entire team is at all times. So we all have a very high awareness, at the very least, a high awareness of our own team position. Kind of a cheat or an way to get better awareness without just having to put hours and hours and hours into the game. Just have a sixth sense for where your team is.
Yeah. But it's just, it's hard to have that sixth sense if we're playing like a QP team.
But yeah, and if it's what Jane calls a chaotic or devolved fight, most fights go from organized fights. At some point, they can become devolved fights, and it's just kind of wild and chaotic. And that's where having a natural awareness will pay off and better player. But even then, our group system, like knowing that Winston and Genji are always going to be running together, and Diva and Lucio and Ana are always going to be running together, even if we get into a chaotic, devolved fight, we should still be able to quickly identify group locations and know where all the members of that group are, based on just looking for the Diva or looking for the Winston.
Double kill.
I would still recommend everybody watch this video on space. I covered concepts from it, but he explains it better than I do.
Double kill.
I may have forgotten things that he explains in the video as well, so I would definitely recommend checking it out.
And it's never a bad thing to repeat a lesson. Repetition,
You know,
is a good learning tool.
I have seen this video 3 or 4 times in the past. It's been a year since I watched it last, and when I rewatched it, I remembered things that I had forgotten from the video. And I'm, oh yeah, you know, this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
But like, in my mind, the concepts from the video had kind of gotten down to vague ideas, and I had forgotten some of the specifics. Oh, for example, space that's given to you. This is a huge thing that he covers in the video, and he shows an example of where pro teams fail to do this and get punished for it. If there is space that's uncontested and it's available for us to take and use, and we don't use it, that's our bad, right?
Yeah, we kind of give that space up.
Sure, exactly. Yeah. And in general, like thinking about our scrim the other day, we could abuse high ground more, like pushing King's Row when we're on King's Row attack. The Winston and his flanker could have jumped over the Orisa to the high ground behind that Orisa, because it was completely uncontested. And that's an example of space that is neutral space that the enemy team is not using. Like, they should have been utilizing that space and denying our ability to just take it for free, and they weren't, and we could have punished that by taking it, and then they would have been in a pinch. They would have had the Diva core group and the free flanker in front of them on the payload, and they would have had Winston and a flanker behind them, just cleaving the shit out of everything behind that Orisa shield. And it essentially would have forced them to back off or turn around and try to focus the Winston. They do that, that's the opening for the other 4 of our group that are on payload to punish them for turning our backs to us to deal with the Winston. So that's kind of what we want to do anywhere it's possible with our dive comps. So do you have a plan for the next step, or do we want to jump in and practice some rotations in a custom game?
I'm up for whatever.
Psych, do you have any major questions about the grid system?
No,
Docs kinda...
I'm looking at the slides. I think I get it. It's something I've seen before.
Okay.
Just not like in this like expansive. But yeah, it's like the grid concept, the 9 squares, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple.
Yeah, no, yeah.
It is the easiest to apply this on COP maps. Like
Yeah.
all King of the Hill maps, it's very easy to just split a King of the Hill map up into the 9 grids. You've got identical callouts on every King of the Hill map, whereas some of the other maps, callouts, there is no coast on King's Row, for example.
Yeah, but there's generally every King of the Hill map or Koth. Yeah, it's gonna have a coast, it's gonna have a boundary, and it's gonna have a center, and it's gonna have mains.
I can't think of a single King of the Hill map that doesn't have a coast and a boundary.
The one I would say that's kind of coasty, but kind of not is I think it's not a slight blank, but it's one of I think the Nepals.
Nepal
Sanctum's
Village.
weird because
Not-
the coast is like outside of the main fight area. I
Yeah,
guess,
you know,
but
yeah, Exodus. I think you know which one I'm talking about.
the one with the pit next to the point.
Yeah, the one with the yes, that's the one I'm thinking
Yeah,
of.
Sanctum's
Okay,
weird.
yeah.
The coast is there, but it's like outside of the main point.
Yeah,
I
it's-
would still call that
yeah.
coast though, even if they're on
Yeah,
like
I've-
within the wall.
Yeah.
And it's easy to remember which side coast on because it's on the same side as the pit.
Yeah, exactly. But either way, there's still environmental kills to be had on coast, and that's basically what coast is.
The weirdest map, as far as this coast boundary, is Oasis University. On University, the cars are on one side,
Microphone
and
muted.
boundary is on the other. When you're in Spa, you
told me to
get
that
to
one,
the
yeah.
middle of the map, the boundary side opens up into a drop-off. And University may not be, maybe it's Gardens that I'm getting my names crossed up. I think it's Gardens that is laid out like that. But it's the one where you've got the
Microphone activated.
high ground that goes right through the middle of the objective, and the objective is on the side of the map with the cars and everything over there. And then I think there's actually a coast, a drop-off there when you get to the middle of the map. So there's cars boundary at spawn, and then the middle of the map has coast on both sides. That's the weirdest one to try to identify by coast. And
Yeah. But 95% of the Koth maps
yeah,
is
yeah.
very straightforward 9 grid.
And really, that one, the car side is coast, and you fall off if you get booped off on that coast side if you're playing the objective. And then the coast on the other side is on the far end of the map, and it rarely ever even gets any playtime. So it's even that map is pretty easy to identify boundary and coast. Because
Yeah.
yeah.
I get that. But I do need to go to the bathroom really bad really quick.
Go for it, man.
So
Dominus,
And then
please
we
stop
can do
talking
whatever.
so I can go to the bathroom.
no, it's fine, but I just figured I need to go to the bathroom and then we can get into whatever else we're gonna do.
I don't
I'll be back.
really know what I want to do at this point. If we had
I
some-
would say go into a custom game and let's just practice. Let's practice knowing where our 0 square is at all times. Like practice rotating the 0 square.
Okay. Wish we had like a couple extra people. We could have like an enemy to
Yeah.
stand on.
I
the
was
enemy
thinking
team.
that I would just throw me on the enemy team, and I will represent the enemy main tank, and you guys can rotate the 0 square based on seeing where I am.
Hopefully Jay will be on soon. That'll be cool. Then we gotta explain it all to him. I'll send him, like, I wrote up pretty much the entire lecture into 2 docs for each concept, so I'll probably just send him those, and hopefully that'll be good, and if he has any questions we can answer them. So yeah, I guess we'll make a custom game. Two on.
Bullshit.
Dominant. So you already joined. Look at that.
Oh, there it is. I was gonna say I heard the invite, but I didn't see it.
I got online.
No, I do not think that that is necessary, my guy.
What?
The whistling.
Am I whistling?
You were.
Was I?
Oh my god.
Were you? What?
He's Canadian. You gotta forgive him. He's not.
No.
Yeah, Canadians are special.
He's special.
Bro, you treat me like I have a fucking illness.
Because you do.
What, whistle syndrome? Bro, shut the fuck up.
No, it's called being a Canadian.
Just busting your balls, Nano. We love you. You know we do.
I don't.
Man, I had blue balls
Oh.
yesterday. It hurt. You guys know what blue balls is?
Yes, and blue balls is painful.
Yeah, it sucks.
You mean Dominus
Feels
didn't help
bad.
you out with that?
What?
No, Shadow. Ah, no, you just made it awkward, Shadow.
It's like, you getting on? Your game's taking forever, isn't it?
Wait,
I
I'm
didn't know
gonna
we
go
were getting
take
in
a
game, remember? I
shit
went to the
already.
Oh,
bathroom.
sorry. Yeah, we're getting in a custom game.
Okay.
Forgot you, gone. Yeah.
But my game does take forever, so embrace.
Embrace yourselves.
Yeah. I was gonna change my laundry over real quick so I can go to bed after practice, but my roommate's asleep in the living room and I don't want to wake her up.
Just so you guys know, I'm gonna try to make practice this weekend, but we have a hurricane that's coming, so I'm not sure how that's gonna affect it.
I mean, shit happens. If it happens, it happens.
Yeah. Yeah, if it happens though, you still are expected to be here. So,
Yeah.
your tardiness will not be tolerated.
It developed like right off the coast, so it's like,
Put me on the other team.
it's just a Cat 1 though, so it shouldn't be too bad. Probably still have
Oh.
power and everything.
Cat 1's basically just a tropical storm. No big deal.
Basically.
You just stand out there and hang out
Well,
in it, you know, have a tea
I
party.
mean, we usually have hurricane parties. It's what's called hurricanes. You basically have off of work. It's like a holiday, and you buy hurricanes from the daiquiri place and get drunk.
You guys ever play red light, green light? You were kids?
Once or
Yeah.
twice.
Hell
I
yeah.
didn't play it much.
Dude, I fucking love
sure that
red
was
light, green
before-
light.
that
You
was-
don't even
That
know.
was kind of before my time, I think. Too young for that game.
I'm 30, so you gotta understand that was like the shit
Yeah.
when I was a kid.
Right?
That
Yeah,
Duck Duck
I'm
Goose,
40,
dude.
so yeah.
It wasn't as popular when I was a kid.
You're 40, Dom?
Yep.
I don't know
Oh,
how
wow.
you East Coasters think that though.
Um,
I don't know,
So-
like
go ahead.
like when Hurricane Sandy hit and everything, it was like Superstorm Sandy, but it was Cat 1. It was like, really? How the hell you call a superstorm Cat 1?
A
That's
Category 1
nothing.
superstorm instead of a Category 1 hurricane. Maybe that's the difference.
No.
Yeah? I don't know.
No.
I don't know. I don't pay any attention to that shit. Most hurricanes dissipate before they reach Virginia. The last major
Katrina-
hurricane we had was fucking Isabel.
Katrina was twice the size of that, and it was Cat 5.
Katrina was disgusting.
Yeah, Katrina was ridiculous. I still remember Katrina hit when I was, what, a sophomore in high school? I think. If I'm thinking of the right one.
I don't
I
think it was
remember
that
donating.
long ago, was it?
2005.
2005.
Yep,
2005.
2005, sophomore in high school. Yep.
Wow.
Because I remember donating. I remember I asked my mom. I literally went to my mom and was like, "Can I get some money?" And she was like, "Why?" And I was like, "Because I want to donate." Because my school's doing donations, and my mom gave me like $150. I mean, that's not much, but I mean, that's all we could do. And I remember I walked in and I turned $150 in to my homeroom class as a donation to the hurricane relief.
Yeah, I don't want to be mean, but some of those places that they redid and everything, they shouldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it's like, why are you gonna make something nice for them just to fuck it up in a few years? Yeah.
Man, I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
I just had the best shit of my life.
TMI.
That was
Thanks
like
for the info, Nana.
top class. Like, think of how Tom Cruise would sit on the toilet
my
and just
God.
take a massive shit. Like, that was me right now.
Nano?
That was so fun.
Nano?
Not gonna
Again, he's Canadian.
Shut up, Nano.
lie. Can you ever say you've done a Tom Cruise shit? No, I don't think so.
I don't think I
I
want
have.
Should be Shrine. I hope
I've
it's
actually
Shrine.
filled
It
the
is
toilet
Shrine.
bowl
Yeah.
before.
Yeah, there you go. See, I'm not the only one. It's not just a Canadian thing.
Did you take a picture of it?
Yeah,
You want to share it on Instagram or something?
I'll post it in the highlights tab.
Alright.
What are we doing? Because we don't have 6, so what do you want me to, like, go in for this?
I guess
Not a real
Diva
game,
to
we're just,
represent
you know.
our core group.
Alright.
Alright, so, do you guys understand how to get into your formation?
Are we gonna roll out from spawn, or are we just, like, going
Yeah,
where...
yeah.
I guess.
Well, I'm in spawn.
Everyone's already wherever, so I guess let's go back to spawn.
Right. So yeah, practice a rollout, call your rollout, and move to your flanks, strong group, and
Okay, so we're
weak
gonna go
group.
back to spawn. Let's go to spawn, Dave.
Okay,
Last
I gotta
last
remember
was
this.
there's a little bitch. Last
Core
one there is a little
group, core
bitch.
group's going main or to the...
I won, Dave.
It's easiest for core group to roll out
Dave,
main and
you're a little
rotate
bitch
from
now,
there.
Dave.
Okay, I was trying to remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attack the objective.
Right. So who's calling out? Who's taking strong or who's taking left flank? Who's taking right flank?
I'm taking left flank, Widow taking left flank. Weak flank. Weak flank taking left flank. I got sight lines on the left. Nobody's flanking.
Okay, I guess.
So get into your 0 position from my current square.
I guess this is my 0
And-
position.
Yeah. So the enemy or your core group cannot see me, so the flankers have to give him location calls.
Ball is main.
Right. Good.
Ball is
Ball's in their
Their
main.
main.
Ball is their main. Ball is taking a shit in their boundary.
Right. Now rotate from this position.
Ball is taking a fat shit in their boundary.
So from what I'm seeing right now, you guys are in. You guys are in on the objective, so you have pushed in too far, too fast.
Well,
Yes.
I mean, we're going off of where you're at.
Right.
It represents the whole team anyway.
Right. The objective is the neutral space that we're rotating around. So if I'm in our main,
So we're not
then
going to
core group wants to be the core group wants to be in our main if I'm in their main.
Okay.
And Winston, you're overextended. You're dead.
Oh, Winston.
You're still overextended.
I have a hard time, like, with just this kind of stuff. I mean, it's not bad with just you, but, like,
Yeah.
where's the rest of the, you know?
Ball is
So we're using our imagination because we don't have an enemy team to drill with.
Ball is
but,
their main. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of what I was doing, but, you know, you're
Yeah.
one and you're there, so, you know, it's
Yeah.
like, why not make this our space?
Ball
Because we're
is coast.
Oh.
Their
Um,
coast.
The idea being like, imagine that I am our diva. And like say it's a mirror match, and I am representing our core group, and I have a strong flank and a weak flank of my own. I'll just go back and switch to diva to help with that visual. So the core groups are mirroring each other, and the flankers overextend, and the core groups dive on them. Like my whole team just dove on you, right? We might have our own flanker that's rotating forward and taking this space opposite. And like Winston, you're 1v6ing again right now.
He's just primal.
Dave, if you're not going to take the exercise seriously, you can leave.
Yeah, stay with your group. You're supposed to stay with Genji.
Alright, so rotate based on our core position here.
Okay, so that's your.
and so
so you represent the enemy team, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the reason I was asking about the red light, green light is because I'm going to call red light, green light, and just have everybody freeze when you get in position, and I'll come around and kind of check, give feedback on the positioning to help people get an idea of it. Or maybe we need to do this on a top-down and stat banana first if people are having a hard time visualizing.
I think I have an idea.
Just you know, we didn't know where
I
you're
get
at.
it.
And then
Yeah.
whoever
Yeah, I
sees
just didn't
them,
know where you're at.
Yeah.
I
So,
get it.
yeah, your scouters...
Diva is their
scouters need to
boundary.
flank. Yeah.
Diva is their boundary. Winston is dead again.
Yeah, you're overextended, Winston.
Winston, you need to get into your position if they're in that area. So you're not supposed to jump them alone.
if I get this right, they're representing the core group, so it's like
Yeah, well,
it's the opposite of what we're playing.
Okay, so you're
Alright.
there now?
Yeah, I'm jumping off the map to get my mech back.
Oh.
You like fireworks?
Sequence. This is gonna make you feel better. Nice try. Suiting up.
Alright, coming back out.
Game on.
Alright, so I'm in our boundary. So get into
Diva's-
zero formation. Deployed zero. You're in deployed zero, let me know and I'll come check your positioning.
I'm in deployed 0. Widow is in deployed 0.
Genji is in.
And Widow, that's pretty good. You're like as far, absolutely as far forward as you can get away with being right now, without kind of overextending into the enemy space. Because if their core group's up here, they probably have a flank group this square.
Yep.
And so you are a little vulnerable to their flank group, and if you come forward any further, then you're going to be too far from your team to get support if they dive on you. Although diving on a Widow's got a good escape, so, you know.
Yeah, I got like
but-
a mega right behind me. And then
Alright,
most of
so-
the time I'll have my grapple
and
to
you
grapple
kinda
to the
have
core
me,
group.
and you have me.
Yeah, I'll grapple to the core
Alright.
group after I
And then
get the mega land.
Matrix.
Winston and Genji are pretty good. Then the core group is in the opposite corner over here, I presume.
Yep.
So, yeah, you guys are
I
a
was
little bit
assumed
on
that
the...
Anna would
yeah,
be around this area, so.
yeah. So yeah, that was pretty good. So taking a new location. So rotate, or you know, scout and rotate.
Diva is boundary.
Diva's on Sanctum. Oh, yeah, just, yeah, thing, yeah.
Hi.
Winston, you're overextended.
What are you doing?
Where do you want to be? Where are you supposed to be right now, Dave?
Tell you where he's not going to be.
Right.
안녕.
I think Nano was just helping you get back in there.
Yeah.
I don't want to see if I can do the flick shot.
Alright, Genji's in position.
Widow's in position.
Are we going back for like what you had before, or are we like doing it again?
He's going back to
Yeah.
his
So
spot.
I'm gonna come back to this square.
Yeah, he's in their boundary.
All right.
Or not their boundary, but boundary.
All right. So you guys are deployed. Now go into a attack formation from there.
Where is Diva?
Alright, so
Where
Genji's
is
Boundary.
good.
She's still
Diva?
boundary.
She's still their boundary?
Yeah, she's
so we
in
need to get into attack
which
position.
is the forward deployed.
Which,
Oh.
yeah, the forward deploy, so Widow, yeah, that's good. And then Diva, yeah, that's good. Alright, I'm gonna
Look at this, it's
rotate
a V
again.
formation. Oh
It's
my
a V
God.
formation,
Diva's our
there you
boundary.
go.
Diva's in our boundary.
Is Diva our boundary? Okay.
Right?
I don't really like this. I don't know where to go if they're in our boundary. I should. Yeah, I
So
don't know.
what we probably want to do, this is actually a good example. If I'm on your boundary, you and the strong group probably want to trade flanks.
Basically, I just go the opposite of where you're at, based on
Yeah,
geometry
yeah,
of the map
exactly.
and good positioning of
That's
where
exactly what
everybody
I've
else
been
is going to
doing.
be.
Yep,
That's it.
yep. Yeah, you mirror me. So we want this, if in a situation like this, where you guys are, where one of your flank groups is positioned on our side of the map towards our spawn, the strong flank should be the flank that is into our spawn. So like from this position, one flank group would be in enemy main, and the other flank group would be on coast, and the core group would be on the enemy coast. So the enemy main should be the stronger flank group.
Oops, I
Widow's
fell.
too vulnerable to be playing the enemy main flank. She should be on the coast flank, and you guys just have to swap flanks if we rotate all the way around here.
Okay, so I should be on the coast flank.
You
when
could just
they're
be
in
with
our
us,
boundary.
and then if you get any
that
problems,
makes- that makes sense.
Matrix, yeah, whatever.
If I'm with the
you
core
want the
group?
strong flank. Like if we have to rotate such that one of our flanks is pushing in towards the enemy spawn, that should be the strong flank.
Hello.
So if we collapse into a full zero square and then push out again, in order to trade flanks, however you guys can safely trade flanks, but that that's where the rotating is not completely easy. But for the most part, this rotating drill is really simple. All right, so if I come out here,
Diva's our coast. Diva's in
Are you
our
actually where
coast.
you're at?
yeah.
Okay. But I don't really like being this spot because
The Widow, you're a
no,
little
no.
overextended there.
Should I
For
be
now.
on?
I think
should
I'll
I
be
be
here.
on this side then? Well, I
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
see anything on this side, like at all. I
Yeah,
have no sight lines on
that's
you.
kind of the idea. Is if I'm in the zero squares mirror each other. So if I'm in a zero square, this should be safe for me. But with you up there, I mean, you could bait dive, but our
Then just
flank
come
group
back.
was closer than I was, But yeah, you could bait a dive up there like that, and that
Yeah.
we can get into strategies like that later. And I'm toying with the idea of the flankers actually, if the enemy core group is in a corner square, you're 2 squares away from me back there. And I'm toying with the idea of that being a safe space, but because our flankers should be roughly here, this is a lot less safe for you now.
Well, I mean, I have the
Is-
high ground.
You do, you do.
Well,
and
Like,
she
if it's
could-
a Genji,
and
I
she
can just grapple
Yeah,
away.
she could fall back to me
Yeah.
and drop down.
Yeah.
There's-
And
is that wouldn't be the zero spot, but that would be like the pushing up spot, like.
yeah, so deployed would be if I'm in this
Deployed
corner.
would be deployed would be here.
on boundary, and attack deployment would be on their boundary.
Their boundary or our boundary?
So we've gotten turned around and it's confusing. Right now you're in their boundary.
No, this side is our spawn.
Oh, is it? Did I get turned around?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this side is.
Uh,
You're in our
That's
coast.
the whole
You're-
reason why I'm here and not over there, because
you're in
somebody
our
can
coast
like
right now.
respawn and
Yeah.
then fucking kill me here.
Nobody should be
I don't wanna be too
respawning
far
at
up.
this point because nobody should have died at this point. If they have, we should have.
But I'm
And
saying-
all of this is
It's
pre-fight
theoretical,
positioning.
you know, I don't
Yeah.
know.
All of this is pre-fight positioning. And so the idea being, like, in a live game, the enemy team is going to see the Widow and go after her, or they're going to see the Winston and Genji and go after them. And so we rotate based on what the enemy team does. If they just send, like, if the Winston and Genji encounter a Tracer on their flank, Winston and Genji just delete the Tracer or push her out of the flank and deny that space and take a stronger control of it.
Should I be mirroring not the strong flank, but the Genji and the Winston? Should I be mirroring them? Because that's what I get from it. Because
Kind
the
of.
core
You're talking
group
about on
mirrors-
Widow?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
the core group mirrors you, and then I guess wherever Genji sets up, I mirror him to form the V.
I would think Widow is kind of unique. Just kind of depends.
Yeah, Widow controls space by threat, and she has a longer range. So, you know, Widow could actually, like, so where you are right there, if we're on this back corner, you could set up back there, and you've got a pretty good line of sight, I imagine, to a lot
Yeah.
of the field from up there.
I do. Like I'm
Um,
there,
yeah.
like all over.
So if we're back here not threatening you, and we don't have a Widow of our own that's shooting at you, then you know, that's not bad positioning, and you got a lot of control of the field. If our flankers are rotating down here, this might be something you got to watch out for.
Yeah, then I would
Especially if we
rotate.
like have a Widow or something.
I would rotate to our boundary then when that happens.
I'm
Yeah,
curious.
'cause-
What is your sight lines, or if you can even get up there where the bell is?
Who, me? I don't think
Yeah.
I can get up there.
You should be able to. I know. I'm pretty sure. No, it's not a roof.
No,
That's right.
I slip
You can
off.
fly. Yeah, you can fly through it as far.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, you can't get up there.
But yeah, if she could perch there, she would be able to see pretty much the whole field.
There's a little spot on Blizzard World that I've seen another Will do, and a Doomfist. I'll show you
So-
later.
All right, so rotate to this based on this positioning.
Oh crap.
Okay, you're there, so yeah.
Diva would be
Basically
center.
here.
I guess I would be here. Our boundary. I'm ready.
I'd be playing around the shrine.
I'm
And
playing
uh,
around our boundary.
so if you take an advanced position, Widow doesn't have to move to have kind of the same advantage of an advanced positioning.
I just feel like this is too close.
Yeah.
This feels
It
really
does feel close.
And that's an
So-
example where it may not be a V as far as where Widow's standing, but the space she's threatening creates the V, if that makes sense.
You could always just go a little bit like up there. So the same, almost the same
Yeah.
size.
All right, so, and then from that position, we take, like, we push in and take the objective. Now, we're kind of fucked, because we got Widow on our left, we got Genji and Winston on our right, we got the core group in the main. So if we just push into the objective and group up here, which we're going to see a lot of teams do until we climb higher, or they might have one flanker running around, you know, being nuts while the rest of the team just comes in here right into this trap.
Sounds good to me. I did kind of pick like the most obvious map for this. It was the one I used for all the examples, but
Yeah.
it's
yeah.
applicable in many places. Control points,
Like,
pretty much any control point
any-
can be used for it. Whether
Yeah,
it be
I
2CP
mean,
or control.
2CP, it's a little bit more difficult.
Yeah.
Now, on defense, it's a lot stronger on defense in 2CP because we can kind of set up a V formation that they have to walk into in order to push into us. And that's where we don't hold chokes as much with dive, as we kind of create these V formations and just let them into the choke and punish them once they come through it.
Yeah, I find this is very simple. I mean, I think the thing I'd work on like is like hybrids or payloads, you know, because
Yeah,
it's always
yeah.
different situational. I mean,
Mhm.
it's
Well, and we're starting out simple just to make sure everybody grasps the concept. And also our comms could be better. Scouting calls could be faster and come more often. And like I guess I'm kind of designated as calling for the rotations, but someone should be calling the rotation for the team, so that you know, if we say Diva's on their coast, then rotate left, or rotate right, that kind of thing from the whoever's pathing the team.
Diva's on their
I
coast.
think if someone calls like Diva's their coast, then I think we should just call like core group go our boundary, and then everyone else should know where to go from there.
Yeah.
Core
and
would go boundary.
when we get a feel for it,
On a map like this, you don't really even need to say anything.
yeah, when we get a feel for it, just call rotate left or rotate right, and everybody knows to rotate one square left or right. Alright, so this is, I think we've covered it. Does anybody have any questions? Everybody gets what we're doing now?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright. Run away.
I waited for your boosters for that dash. I knew you were gonna do it. Now everyone's jumping off. Here we go. Alright.
So question.
Good shit, guys.
Is Dave still here?
I don't know. I'm not worried about it. If he doesn't want to participate, he doesn't have to.
Play quick play.
That's fine.
So are we gonna go into quick play now?
Yeah, let's apply.
Did you
these
log the
concepts
hour
of quick
Yeah, I
play.
did.
Okay. I'll say shit.
So worried about that rep.
No,
It's,
it's not about
it's
the rep.
more
It's
about me not getting
Exif.
struck.
About the strike. Yeah.
Yeah, because Exif already got warned or whatever about it, so I'm just watching out for him.
Yeah.
I think that's
Um,
dumb. You should be able to just do it after the event's over.
No,
So
'cause-
obviously,
If it's,
It's
a
a
1 hour event,
yeah,
then-
it's a screenshot. So like when you press log the hour, it takes the screenshot at that time, and you can't. So it has to be taken at the hour, otherwise it isn't accurate. Or around the hour. It's
Yeah.
within like 10 minutes, like 5 minutes before and 5 minutes after, or something like that.
yeah. So when we try to apply these concepts in quick play, they're probably going to fall apart.
But
Just be ready for that. But let's worry about just positioning together more than winning or losing. That's why we're practicing in quick play. It doesn't matter if we lose.
So real
let's
quick,
just
I do have
focus on
one
the
quick
position.
question.
Yeah.
So if we need to be 2 squares away by the 9 grid system, is that pre-fight or is that during fight as well?
Pre-fight.
Because if that's during the
pre-fight.
fight.
That's pre-fight.
It's all
Okay, I
staging.
wanted to make sure of that really quick. Because by that concept and even being on the point would be being overextended. And I was just like,
So the
but that
point of
makes a
all
lot
that
more sense.
rotating,
I was assuming it was all pre-fight.
point of all that rotating is basically saying to the enemy, we're going to give you initiative. Make a move, and then we react. It's a reactionary type of comp. We react to what the enemy does, rather than engaging and having the enemy react to us. We just kind of wait and see what they do. We rotate, so to keep them from coming in on us until we're ready, and look for an opportunity to punish them. And that opportunity may happen right away, like in the first second, or we may rotate for 20 seconds before somebody falls out of position that we can dive on.
Patience and playing slow, which was
Yeah.
one of the things that we talked about before, playing too fast.
the reason why I said it was stupid is because you're taking a screenshot and you have a time that is in your bottom right-hand corner that actually
Okay.
logs when you took it.
I think I know how this is gonna
No,
work.
the thing with it's called a screenshot, but it's not really. It takes like the website takes a shot of the people that are not deafened in the channel that you're in TeamSpeak, and the sub channels of that channel.
Oh, I thought y'all were taking a screenshot.
No, it's not
of
a
actually
literal
your screen.
screenshot. Like that's probably where the confusion came in. But yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean we
So we need 2 tanks.
do have a random here, so that's kind of whatever.
We could do it with 1 tank. It's fine.
Yeah.
It'll
Just focus
it'll
on
just
us.
have to be Diva, and I guess I'll play solo.
I'll get us home safe.
Because
Alright.
it makes more sense to me that way. That way we get
Yeah,
like,
true.
I
It's
just don't
not-
know how
it is-
long I'm gonna survive with
it's
that.
not about the winning or losing. It's about applying the concepts we've learned, so that we can like get the memory. Also memory, I guess.
Yeah, I
Brain
mean,
memory.
once we start coordinating our movements as a team, you're going to be amazed at how much it does for our ability to just dominate the enemy. Like,
Okay,
Dogs.
so where would the core group set up?
the core group, like, we can set up wherever we want. I would
pretty
say
much set
Winston and
up in
Genji
a
could set up there
safe
in that
place,
corner.
because
And the core
I
group
would set
here.
up here on
Yeah.
this left side, maybe.
Winston Genji over here. Like,
Yeah, I would say that's probably it.
Winston's
And then
dive.
we're
Yeah, 'cause then
rotating
I
away
can-
from the Winston, so now we're coming to this back
They're-
right
they're
corner
on
from
high
their
ground,
Winston.
opposite side.
Yep. And punish this Doomfist.
Doomfist,
Yeah.
Doomfist.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
dead.
Monkey coming
Yep.
in. Winston's
Punish
taking a
them.
high ground.
contest
Finish
point.
the McCree in our back line.
Get the
Got a
McCree
contest point.
and the Doomfist. McCree
Widow
and
is
Doomfist
down.
are
I'm dead.
destroying us.
Can we just get Dave in here?
If
I
Dave,
guess he'll
like I said,
participate.
it's gonna be really hard for me just playing D.Va, because
Yeah.
there's nothing to counteract them diving on us.
The problem is Dave's just got his mind set that he's not going to do any of this stuff, and he's going to do whatever he wants to do, and he's doing whatever he can to make it not work.
New defense point. Objective.
yeah, I mean, if he's not going to participate, there's no point in him being here. That's why I will probably be talking to Weeb about it when he gets back.
Winston's down.
Winston's down.
They're rezzing.
Get the D.Va.
They're probably gonna res. They're rezzing.
Steve, demeched?
It doesn't matter.
Does
D.Va's
not.
out of mech. Get the Mercy.
Is he dead?
Doomfist,
She wasted Val.
Nice.
Doomfist are
You gotta,
ghost.
yeah.
There's Winston on your Widow. Winston on your Widow.
Where's Widow?
Widow's on
McCree
main.
around the soldier. Doomfist.
Widow going top left.
How'd that not
point.
hit?
Get the
Doomfist.
Doomfist. Get it. Doomfist is low.
Doomfist low.
Doomfist is down.
McCree.
Winston on Anna, Winston on Anna.
Okay, Winston.
Anna and McCree
Oh,
are on
never mind.
point.
Winston's dead. Winston's dead.
Winston's our right spawn.
Winston's
McCree
on your
low.
Widow left.
McCree low in the back at her spawn. I'm on Winston. Be aware of McCree though. Okay, well,
Winston's purple.
Got a contest.
This Winston's just jumping me constantly.
well, it's because we don't have another tank.
Yeah, it's a 5v6, and our random is
Just McCree.
playing a DPS, yeah. And I guess maybe one of our DPS needs to flex to tank, maybe, or we can just practice the formations without the Winston. Let Genji run the Winston.
I think we
flank
need a main
solo.
tank more than D.Va just to make it work, but
D.Va
that's-
is the main tank in this comp.
no, I mean I'm talking about traditional main
Just
tank.
having the extra meat shield, I guess, is what he means.
Yeah.
Even though most of the time
I mean,
they'll be
like-
kind of split, there's still it will also kind of split the enemy's attention more.
Even
Yeah,
so.
even like having Winston, even having the ability to get out and in, and actually just having more health. You know, health.
Yeah. I wonder where Jay is.
Yeah, I don't know. He said he was be home by 9.
Yeah, maybe he didn't make it.
Now
I know traveling is.
Yeah, it's not a definite thing all the time,
prepare for
especially with the. I mean, I don't know. He
Hurry
lives
up
in the
and pick
mountains, so
your.
I'm not sure where.
Hurry up and pick what you're gonna pick, because this rando might flex maybe.
He is kind of sitting waiting. Maybe he noticed it was a 5-stack.
Let's go to team chat, see if we can talk to him.
Maybe.
Microphone muted.
Hey, y'all gonna try to talk to him?
Hey, what's up? I was muting myself in TeamSpeak first. What's up, Kamikaze?
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna stick with D.Va just for a little bit. Let's see.
Yeah.
He's not talking anyway.
JC, can you play either D.Va or Winston? Or Nano, I guess? Yeah, alright. So, let's have
5, 4,
the strong group go to coast, and then Reaper's gonna do whatever he does.
Go into a full 6
All
turn.
right,
Where's my Genji?
all right. Punish Winston. Punish Winston.
Well, we're gonna
Where's
coast.
where's my Genji?
Okay.
Where's
We
my
got
Genji?
behind us.
He told us to go coast,
Okay, there.
but you
yeah,
left
you
me
did.
in chat.
Okay, let's
They're
go.
still behind.
This is the
Yeah.
Scoop.
Well, this is.
All right.
Scoop main. Scoop
Alright.
main.
So core group's gonna come main. Oh, punish Doomfist if we're here.
I am not a mech. I can't really help.
Do we need to reset?
Okay,
We're all here.
If
going
I
right.
could
Let's
get
just
a
jump
tank,
McCree.
McCree,
Let's
McCree
jump
our
McCree.
coast.
Maybe bait. Maybe.
Flashbang down.
So when Diva's out of mech, Winston becomes the tank that we play around, and we group up a little more.
Let's jump.
Rana's dead.
I'm dead. I was
I'm
behind
back
the
and
wall.
back. Winston's
All right.
behind me.
So this is
Winston's
gonna
behind
be a full reset. Full reset.
He's been chasing me. Thanks.
Audio medic.
I'll show them.
Okay.
We're all here.
Let's go left.
Winston out above.
Where's my Genji?
Perch?
I'm just calling out on the left. There's a McCree behind. Let's jump. Punish. Punish this McCree. You should be dead.
Behind where?
Get this Doomfist.
Ryan's in front. Winston's above us, dude. I'm gonna get on Winston just to get him off here.
I've got blade.
Yeah.
Oh, we just
Push.
all
Reinhardt's pushed in.
Okay. Back up.
Well, we're not making any progress like that.
Yeah. Man, Dave should just get here. Like, it's hard to do this without somebody that actually plays Winston.
Score
Yeah. Well, it's hard to do without a full formation with a 5 stack.
It's hard to do.
But it's going to be hard to do anyway. It's going to be hard to do anyway because we're not used to it. And
Just think of our random as our handicap to make it like the other team is just so much better than us.
there you go. Okay.
Wait, we have a handicap?
Let's roll out in a full zero, and
never
then
mind.
deploy when we get on base.
I
But
did that on purpose.
Strong group go take the boundary side
I'm
flank.
not
Strong group is
doing
that
particularly well either.
is that us?
Yes, Nano.
No.
Yeah,
Okay.
the Winston Genji is strong group.
Ryan, Mercy coast.
Okay.
Most of their team is coast. Or bound.
Punish
Winston.
this Winston. Punish this Winston.
Nice.
Is it down?
Punish
Just
Ryan.
run,
Ryan?
just run.
Mercy's resing. Ryan's left.
Pushing right into you. Ooh, I got one shot by the fist.
Wow, he's already got shot here.
Yep.
The objective is now active.
This was a fast ult.
Yeah, because he didn't die fast enough. He got fed.
Eh. It was like 3 fire
Oh,
strikes.
was that a-
Probably could have eaten all of them. I deflected one of them.
I ate one of them too.
I don't know how he got so fed.
That's fine. That's fine.
I didn't get
There's
hit by
somebody
either.
flanking
So
around.
we're rotating
Okay,
base.
Winston here.
We're rotating
Winston,
base.
Ryan. Right now. Winston.
Focus on Mercy.
Mercy. Okay, this McCree's in our response. Mercy's down.
Mercy down.
Winston. Winston ulted. Switch to Ryan. Ryan's on point.
I'm getting off of
Ryan's
that.
down.
Look at Winston now.
Get him. Nice. Back up. So like Let's go coast.
I have nano for you next game.
They're on
Nano.
high ground.
Yep, they're taking
Ride's coming down.
coast. High ground coast.
They're on their coast. Most of them are on their coast.
They're on high ground. Bridge.
Let's jump. Let's jump their
Alright, so
boundaries.
we want to rotate right.
Okay, one, two.
Reinhardt's overextended on the point. Mercy.
Doofus low. Help.
Ryan low.
On point.
User
Nice.
disconnected
Anna's
from your channel.
their main.
Pushing
Mercy
Anna.
low.
And
Close to
Mercy.
Mercy.
Pushing Mercy.
Look at Winston, their boundary. Yeah, he listed that.
We jump that?
No.
Alright,
I
so
have bomb. I have bomb.
we can hold this choke. Just surround it.
I don't know about that.
If Ryan
says
pushes
let's
it,
go
I'll just
boundary.
bomb him.
Let's go boundary.
You got.
I say you guys
Doofus
should
behind
back
you.
up.
Doofus behind you.
Okay, let's go behind. Go jump the Anna.
He knows I have it. I'm getting out. I need heals.
Yeah, I'm almost getting out.
Ryan is
Going
overextended.
bottom.
What's low? What's low?
Going bottom.
Doofus use punch.
Get the Doofus. Just target Doofus.
Ryan, Mercy, and Winston on point. Anna on point as well.
Can you hope?
No, I'm dead.
Nope. Alright, reset.
Okay, strong group. Take the high ground on the coast side again. That worked well.
There's a McCree.
McCree, our coast. Shit. I'll get these.
Alright,
down.
they're
We're switching. We're switching.
Anna.
Anna, no cooldowns. And low. She's dead.
Ryan's
With the
asleep.
McCree.
Ryan's one. Ryan's one. Ryan's low.
Your strong flank is
Okay,
on.
Doofus and yeah, they're fucking around.
Mercy rezzed. Reinhardt.
That's a
We need to
reset too.
Reset.
The McCree was doing a bait thing.
I have golden damage.
Don't
And we have a
follow
reaver.
over again.
I think he was just looking
Okay.
for a free kill more than anything.
Here we go.
Okay, we should
we should probably wait on the Reaper.
Well,
Oh,
Just
okay,
go on
fine.
beat and on nano. That was just.
It was dead. McCree high ground. Our coast. What? I was behind him.
He's dead.
I'm dead.
Focus a target.
Anna
Anna on point.
Mercy.
Mercy on point.
Get the dude.
Doofus.
Get the monkey.
Doofus low. Doofus low.
Winston on point.
Touch.
I was literally on the point. That made no sense.
Yeah,
Oh, they have
Doofus
golden damage.
pushed me off.
Right, you're
I
back.
was like,
Get out of
no,
here.
I was like in the middle.
Oh.
Like.
Microphone
Yeah,
activated.
Dave just straight up left. Got off Overwatch and he left the channel. Yeah. Definitely talking to Weeb.
Wow.
If Dave's gonna be like this, I don't want him on my roster. It's that simple.
I don't know why he's like this.
Because he's probably, honestly, it's probably his ego is busted because Dominus and I are countering everything he says because he's not right all the time like he wants to be. And he's also probably upset that somebody else is roster leader now when it was his team before.
Well, he could have stayed roster leader
Yeah,
if he
it-
kept up with all the
It's
stuff.
entirely his fault. I'm not saying, like,
Well, and also Dave knows tactics really well. He knows individual mechanics really well.
I'm not making
Um,
a statement. I'm just stating
I'm-
facts.
No, I'm just saying, like, he knows shit,
not a
and
dumb
he
player.
is just, he's impatient with us trying to do some fundamentals and basics before we get into, like, I posted this video on space, and he went and found 2 other videos on space, and never watched this one.
and yeah,
You know, and that's just him trying to do whatever he can to not follow someone
I don't
else.
think you were
Like,
here.
it's
like,
either got to be his or no one's.
Big Shadow. I don't think you were here at first. You came in a little bit late, but I asked if everyone had seen the video yet, and Dave claimed that he didn't have time to watch this video, but then Dominus was like, but you had time to go and find those other 2 videos and watch them. So it's like, you're just trying to not be part of the team, so I will grant you that wish as soon as I can talk to Weeb.
I was in the channel. I know I was here because I was here before Dave, but I might have got up.
Yeah, I don't think you were there
before
because
we
I tried
started,
asking
so-
you if you were here and you didn't answer right away.
Yeah, I did get up to get a drink and go to the
That's
bathroom.
probably
so
what
I
it
might
was
have
then,
been
Yeah.
because I think I heard you like a couple moments later.
But the point I'm trying to make is Dave has a lot that he can contribute, and he knows a lot, and he has stuff he can teach.
Speaking of that, I need
But
another drink.
he wants to just interrupt, and he
You can queue up,
is
though. I mean, it's whatever.
not conforming to what we're trying to do at all because it wasn't his idea. And, you know,
Just
like
switch my
just
LG over
at
while we wait for the
every
queue.
turn, he is
It won't
trying
take
to
a
fight it.
second. That way I can go to bed still. Fuck.
So what we did there,
Take a second. Oh, look at me. I'm psyched. It won't take a second.
Microphone muted.
what
Why'd your
happened at the
voice
beginning
get
of that
deep all of a
match,
sudden?
we charged straight
Oh, look at me,
in
I'm psyched.
to, or they charged straight into us, really.
Oh my
Hey,
god.
look at me. Hey, look at me. I'm Yano.
Hey, look at me. I'm
Alright,
American.
guys,
Oh
chill
my
out.
god.
Oh,
I like
forgot I was
shooting
muted in
guns.
TeamSpeak.
Activated.
Yeah, guys.
I like shooting guns.
Chill
too.
out, guys.
I like owning a million guns. Oh, look at me.
Shut up,
I'm
Nano.
American.
Dominus was trying to speak, but none of you guys are in group chat, so that's a feels bad.
Oh, I'm a liberal. Oh, I'm a liberal. I'm American. Let's
Oh my
go.
fucking god, Nano. I'm gonna literally kick you out of this channel. Fucking troll.
So I don't know what was heard and what wasn't, but just most of it was just venting anyway. As far as what happened at the beginning of that match, you know, their Winston charged straight into us. And that was just, you know, our core group probably could have punished that by themselves. But then in the mecha, in the second fight, they came out with Reinhardt and Winston, and they went high ground where our core group went, and instead of rotating away from their Reinhardt, we charged into him.
You want to play
Uh,
Winston?
That's
Gotta
why
go
that
with
didn't
the
go
Mercy.
well.
Capture objective A.
I'll play Reinhardt. I'll do it. I'll try.
I just walked into that. I'm good.
Oh, we're going Ryan?
Why are we going
Why
right?
is it Ryan?
It's supposed to be Winston's like. That's the point.
Oh shit.
One person needs to play Winston. Just hold up for a second. Let everybody
Widow's
get
down.
there.
Yeah. I mean, we're really just trying to practice our team formations right now anyway, so it doesn't matter if we're late. Effective. So Winston, Genji take the high ground on the right. Core group come up behind the statue.
Rip.
And
Please.
Widow, look for lines on the left side. See if you can contest that left
Oh,
space.
they have a bastion. You set up.
They have a
Widow's
turret?
down.
They have a turret?
Yeah, they have a turret and a bastion.
Where is
Yeah,
Bastion?
try to
He's
get the
underneath
turret.
the
Okay.
thing right around the
Bastion
rock.
left.
Hulk's around the corner of the rock.
But your strong flank is gone.
No.
Yeah, I'm
off.
dead. I'm
Okay.
dead.
Alright, back up, reset. So with this being the case, let's all go right and rotate all the way around
Hulk,
behind the
Hulk again?
objective.
Sounds good.
And then when we get on the objective, Winston and Genji look for high ground to abuse or push in, you know, leap behind them on that high ground
Hanzo,
above them.
top right.
Alright, let's.
Are those
Are we
low?
all
We're
here?
all here.
Are we
can
all
go
here?
Yeah,
forward.
we're here.
Alright, let's go, go, go.
Matrix us up the stairs.
Come on, Mercy.
Hurry.
Collapse on this
Trying
Hanzo.
to get our Mercy caught up.
There's a turret across the way.
Hanzo in front. Shooting
Alright,
the
turret's
turret.
down, turret's down.
Drop down the stairs here. Drop down the stairs here.
What do you need to hurry? We need to hurry for
Got
what?
for Hog on
I was-
point.
Alright,
Bastion
I was trying
rotated
to-
to point.
they've
couple
rotated to
times.
point. We gave them too
Got the
much
Matrix
time.
on it?
Alright, dive
How did I
Bastion.
jump backwards?
Oh,
I got
you
pulled
down.
in and then dove. I jumped and then I apparently
shot.
jumped backwards.
oh, rip.
Turret's down.
Turret's down.
Torb on point. Roadhog on point. Roadhog used heal. Watch the lava floor.
Motherfucker.
Orb is dead. Get the. There you go.
It's one of them.
We
back
got-
in.
I've got blade. Where's that?
Well, that's a bad rip. Man, I had sides too. Sorry, has aimbot. Oh no, he just doesn't move his crosshair at all, and I just walk into his shots.
You want to get on the Hanzo? Okay, I'll deal with Trace. Just go do your thing.
Oh, she's one, man. I ticked her in the head.
You and Genji need to play it. I'm gonna protect your
Mercy's
life.
down.
Tracer. Just go.
The core group will escort.
Widow's on top of tank.
Tracer, recall.
Oh my god,
Pretty on
man.
the right, building on the right. Move on the right.
Tracer's trying to feed off me. She needs to die.
Tracer low. Oh
I
my
just I
god.
can't. 3
Kill the
directions.
hogs.
Tracer's down.
Helden sterben nicht.
I think we need a soft reset here. Or do
Probably
a
so.
Z-Max.
I had too much to make. Hog right. Trying to hook.
Heroes
You
never
hooked me.
die.
And I'm dead.
That's fine. You needed to die, probably.
He was getting his mech back right as he got hooked.
Yeah, I just got
Oh.
my mech back as soon as the hook.
Watch this
Oh,
Roadhog
shit, that was
army.
a fat
Roadhogs
finger.
are
That is
army.
dead.
Right.
That was a fat finger.
Hog is no vape. Hog is no vape.
Oh bullshit. I
The
can't
strong
I
group
hate
try
this
to
make-
contest high ground.
Hanzo dropped down.
Yeah, Hanzo.
Oh.
I need to get my shield down.
Get him. He needs to be punished for that bullshit. Fuck that.
Alright, reset.
I'm sorry guys, I'm playing the role I play the least and the hero I play the least.
That's fine.
That's okay.
Watch
That's
Tracer in the
alright.
back. It's on
It's
Mercy.
just poison.
Tracer's gone. Right now.
Oh! Need to punish the
What do you think about switching to Ash instead of
Widow.
Widow?
I mean, I'm getting the picks.
Ash can
but
down
work
in
for
5 seconds.
Soldier. If you're getting picks, then stay on Widow.
You have a Doomfist?
You can do
Oh.
more damage to
Get his
him.
Doom, get his Doom.
That's what I was like.
Watch the dragons.
Thinking
They're trying to keep me from getting back.
way better.
I got him back anyway.
That a hog, but
They used res.
let's do Ash.
Watch Doofus.
There's a Tracer on your Mercy. Or Widow, sorry.
Ash.
It looked like a Widow through the wall. Okay.
Okay. So
Hog, no
let's,
hook.
let's
No hook
stay
or
in a
hog.
zero square and let them overextend because they're playing really aggressive.
Okay. Doofus left.
dead.
Dead.
Doofus down.
Hanzo up on tank.
Tracer dead.
Nice.
We're up 2.
Hanzo above.
Alright.
They're
Winston, you
Valking.
go to Hanzo, please.
Valk's gonna end soon. Valk just ended. I'm blading.
Man,
Nice
I swear
job.
he's targeting
Nice
me
job.
at this point.
Hanzo above.
Hanzo on
above.
bridge. Above
Hanzo's
payload.
targeting
Hanzo
your
dropped.
Ash. Hanzo's bad.
Hanzo dead. Doofus.
Get this Doomfist.
Healer Winston.
Bashing now. Back off. Hog here, right?
Bastion is really low.
I'm
What a bob.
Hog
gonna
left
try
room.
Sombra here.
Hog down.
They bobbed. I mean, I bobbed. Ah, I'm dead.
Doofus.
I got deaded.
Just keep on doing this.
Yeah, focus the Doomfist. Focus the Doomfist.
Dead.
Yep, I was on Doomfist with you. He got a punch off, but
Bastion hacked. Huge bomb.
they used-
They used trance for that. I got hooked. I'm dead.
Bash is dead though. Ah.
It's just the
I
three
was
of
one.
them. And it's just Winston
Yeah.
out there. Rip.
Your Ash is
That bomb would have been huge if we weren't all dead.
yeah.
Alright, so I'm gonna try and hack the Bastion. Unless the Doomfist is in our team.
right.
And where's-
So Winston, try to take this bridge,
Doomfist is on tank
okay.
right now.
and you've got cover on the right side you can use there. Nice.
Bastion's high ground.
Oh, Doomfist is on
Okay.
your Ash.
Called him on tank, dude.
I did not hear it.
He's on Mercy now.
He was on tank, he was behind tank.
In that area,
Alright.
that's pretty much.
We can't play into this. We're just three.
So I grab this mega.
The Mercy's doing the stupid shit. Now
I
Hanzo's about
wasted
to demech me.
Bastion ult.
Alright, reset. Mercy's down. Lucio's coming back.
Don't peek Psych.
This
Don't
is
peek
low.
Psych. Okay, Psych's ulting here.
Why did you ult?
Because I was about to die.
Get that. The hog, he was really low.
He healed.
Yes. Yes, Matrix me.
Dying
Man.
is one way to reset.
Nice. Their carry is down. I'm bobbing on point.
Their Doomfist had to solo on me.
Alright, I'm coming back for heals. Doomfist is half. Might have a mech though.
Oh, go for
Oh,
dragons,
fuck
watch
me.
dragons, watch dragons.
I can't do anything.
Oh my god.
Alright, let's call some targets.
Yeah. Main tank.
Oh,
Hog behind point, hog behind out.
Doomfist and Mega.
Nice.
Doom, get it,
the
get it.
doom.
Doomfist. Doomfist behind us.
Get the doom.
Alright.
Where's Bastion?
I have bomb.
I hear him.
Doom is one. Doom is one.
Right here.
He's on high ground.
Oh, we got it. Nice.
Doom is literally one.
Doom.
Bastion's hacked. Bastion's hacked. Bastion dead.
Hack, Bastion.
Hanzo low behind us in main.
Get the Mercy.
Hanzo dead.
Mercy.
Mercy dead.
Dead, I'm dead.
Doomfist hacked. Doomfist hacked. He's one.
I'm targeting
Winston's
Zen.
dead.
Zen is down.
Oh, we got 3 down.
I think this is winnable.
Yes.
We're right in our spawn right
Doomfist
here,
dead.
so yeah.
They're staggered too.
Hog
Bastion around the
Hog is
corner.
holding right around the corner with Mercy. Bastion's about to set up.
I got you.
Bastion's hacked.
Huge. Sending in Bob, so old.
I've got EMP.
Strong group, take the high
Make sure you
ground.
hog. Make sure you
Directly
hog.
in front of the payload.
Nice.
You have a jump right now?
Zen is burning.
Hanzo on top right.
Get the Mercy. Mercy's half. Mercy's really
Don't
low.
Push Hanzo
overextend
up.
for that.
Hanzo's dead. Huge.
Watch the Junkrat spam. Around the wall.
Junkrat's burning.
Watch it.
What was that?
Make
That
sure
sounded like a dying rat.
Bastion.
Bastion's null sector scheme.
Low. He's getting pocketed.
You can still
There's a Zen
die.
in our back line.
Mercy.
Zen used ult. I'm hooked. Oh, that was a big
Junkrat makes
Roadhog
it.
hacked. Roadhog hacked.
There's
Matrix.
a jump right
Roadhog down.
Jump right
Roadhog down.
Hanzo alone, on point.
Nice.
Hanzo dead. Pushing forward.
Oh, it's a ball. He's hacked. Kill him. He's dead.
Using Bob. GG.
Victory.
Dude, come
The
on.
Sombra swap. I think the Sombra swap was solid.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I got my
Sombra
head
swap's
out of
good.
my ass too. A little
Wait,
bit.
what the fuck? We had a widow?
What the fuck? We had a widow.
widow.
Said the widow.
Down with JCC.
Widow one trick.
JJC. Are those actually your initials, Nano? Like
My
JJC.
full name, yeah.
I figured.
Like C is my last name. JJ is my two names. Two
Are
first
you
names.
Jesus John Christ?
Yeah.
Jesus John Christ.
Let me end this event. Yeah, it's right on time to end this event.
Jesus John
That's
Christ.
fucking awesome. What?
I love that. That's the first time I've ever heard that.
Really?
Yeah.
Fuck, dude.
Nobody's ever
Are they
ever
really
told me that.
choosing this moment right now to update the fucking DI website?
Welcome to
It's not.
No, it says, we're
not
sorry, this website is
Jesus.
unavailable while an update is in progress. I'm hitting try again and it just keeps saying it. It's actually
It's
updating.
It's Jesus.
Jesus. I actually can't get on the fucking
I need
site.
to step out. I need to step out for at least a game so I can swap my shit. Like I actually have to, or else I can't go to bed tonight because my sheets and everything aren't being washed.
I'm just gonna
Yeah.
pull this out anyway. Until I can get this fucking event ended. If they try to say something about this event being ended late, I'm gonna blame them.
Right?
Well, they should know when Matrix, when the website is being done. I actually want to continue playing.
Yeah, I wish we had a 6th.
I mean, tech practice is over. I mean, if we want to find a 6, we can find one.
I mean, that's not even the point, really.
No, I mean, like, if you really wanted to have a 6.
Well, it's more about, I mean, we would have to explain
I know what you're
everything to
saying
them, yeah.
as far as
Channel
a
edited.
team,
Yeah.
but, you know, if you just want to play,
It's not,
that,
I mean,
that practice is over.
I'm not that worried about it. I'd rather have a 6th and be able to practice properly than just kind of randomly play.
Yeah, but where's Jay? I haven't seen Jay in like forever.
Yeah, something about his kid, and he was supposed to be back tonight, but I guess something came up. Maybe, I don't know. I'm sure we'll find out. Hey, I think it's back up. Something went wrong. Please try again. You motherfuckers! After I just deleted it. Oh my god. If
I wouldn't worry about it. It's their problem.
event management's fucking broken.
Well, I'm gonna head off and take a fat shit.
Again?
You
Yeah,
literally just
I don't know.
did.
Well, I just drank coffee too, so I
Why are
guess
you
that
drinking
kind of
coffee?
helps.
It's fucking, well, it's 8 o'clock for you. Why are you drinking fucking coffee at 8 o'clock? Or is it 8 o'clock for you? I don't
It's it's 11 o'clock
even know.
for
This is even
me.
worse. Yeah, the fuck. Wait, how are you?
Coffee doesn't do anything. Coffee doesn't do anything to me. Like, it doesn't keep me awake or anything. It's just good. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Like,
I don't, because I don't drink coffee.
I have such a high tolerance for caffeine. I can drink a Red Bull and go to sleep.
That's weird. You're
That is
crazy.
fucking weird.
Go ahead and go.
I can also do that. You're not alone, Shadow. I feel you, brother. I drink a Monster before I go to bed. Oh,
That's
God.
what?
I don't do that
God.
just simply because I'm gonna have to wake up in the middle of the night and take a piss.
It actually
And it's just
makes me
gonna annoy me.
sleepy. Like, energy drinks make me sleepy. Like, it does the exact
Y'all need
opposite
to
of
lay
what it's
off the
supposed to do.
caffeine. Like, what the fuck?
I live on caffeine.
Well, that's an actual thing. Some things will affect people
Bro,
oppositely. Like,
yeah, I know.
for me, uppers are downers and downers are uppers a lot of the time.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way.
It's because of my ADHD. Some things affect me
Hey,
opposite
wake
way.
up.
Like, I
Oh,
used to have
man.
to take antidepressants to calm me down when I was a kid.
Relatable.
I had to take things that would usually skyrocket some people just to mellow me out.
Oh, so you take to get drunk and you drink alcohol to get high? Is that what you're saying?
Kind
It
of.
doesn't really work
Mm.
that way.
It
See,
doesn't work that way for
It
me.
sounds like it.
alcohol
Because
is
alcohol
a
is a
depressant,
depressant.
meaning
Alcohol makes me happy as
it's
fuck.
supposed to quote unquote calm you down.
Not when I'm
Whereas
drunk.
in people where it would affect them
Weed
the
is
opposite
speed.
way, it would, instead of calming them down, it would hype them up, like make them more hyper or
I mean,
energetic.
I have the same thing, but it's like if I drink alcohol, if I drink a little bit, I'm okay. If I drink too much, I just get sick. So that's why the reason I don't really drink alcohol that much.
I
Like a
had a
little bit, it's
highlight
fine.
as Winston. What?
Uh-huh.
How? I played horribly.
This is annoying. Whoa,
I still want to play.
Suff started playing Overwatch.
Ooh,
Who?
Seth.
Suff, yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of miss Seth.
I don't. I hate it.
I have
It's
mixed
kind of
feelings.
fucking annoying.
I guess I should stop the recording.